Have a good day, dear students. My name is Mayuri Karya. I hope you all are well at your home. With this, we are starting our third part of Chapter 1, Standard 7, Social Science, History Ncert book. The book name is Our Past 2. We are continuing with our first chapter, Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. As we have completed already two parts of this chapter, so we will see the quick recap of this two part. Firstly, we had started our chapter with the comparison of two maps. Map 1 made in 1154 CE by Arab geographer Al-Idrisi. Map 2 made in 1720 CE by French cartographer. The map 2 had been prepared after 600 years from the map 1 had been prepared. Then we had learned about the new and old terminologies. For that, the people are giving the example the term Hindustan. The term Hindustan used in 13th century by Minhaj-e-Siraj, a chronicler who wrote in Persian. He meant the area of Punjab, Haryana and the land between the Ganga and Yamuna. For this particular region, he used this word Hindustan. By contrast, in the early 16th century, Babur used that word to describe the geography, that is, describe the subcontinent along with its flora and fauna. Means whatever places he had been conquered, for this he used that word. In 14th century, poet Amir Khusro is used the word Hind for the same geographical places which had been described by the Babur as a Hindustan. Another terminology they have explained with the example foreigner word. The term foreigner was going to be used in the olden era for two different villager people also. In nowadays, this term foreigner is being taken in a extent manner. Now people are being considered foreigner as a two different countries people. The next point was historian and their resources. The information about the medieval period is derived from the two sources, archaeological and literary. Archaeological sources means monuments, temples, tombs, ornaments and paintings. Archaeological means remains of the past. Literally means manuscripts and whatever the written sources is that. Since paper became available in a good quantum, people used it to write holy texts, chronicles of rulers, letters, teaching of saints, autobiographies, petitions and judicial records. These accounts are called manuscripts and were placed in the libraries and in archives. Archive is a place where documents and manuscripts are stored to preserve. Then we have learned about the point new social and political groups. The study of the 1,000 years between 700 to 1750 is a huge challenge to historians, largely because of the scale and variety of developments that occurred over the period. Mostly in this period, most of the changes came. It was a period of great mobility and particular group of persons become more important. For example, Rajputs, Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahoms and Kayasthas. People were grouped into jatis or subcaste also and ranked on the basis of their backgrounds. They had having their own jati panchayat and own rules and regulations. The next point was religions and empires. Large states like those of the Cholas, Tughlaqs or Mughals encompassed many regions. Sanskrit Prasasti that praised Delhi Sultan Balban tells that he was a ruler of a vast empire that stretched from Bengal in the east to Ghazni in the Afghanistan in the west and include all the South Indian part which was going to be called the Dravida. There were considerable conflicts between various states When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it left to the re-emergence of regional states, and small states also started to rule. In 1380, the poet Amir Khusro noted that there was a different languages in every region of this land. Sindhi, Kashmiri, Dwar Samudri, Telangani, Gurjari, Mabari, Kauri, Awadhi and Hindvi are the different languages. Amir Khusro explained that in contrast to this, Sanskrit was a language which did not belong to any region. It was an old language and common people do not know it, only Brahmins do. Almost 700 regions already possess distinct geographical dimensions and their own language and cultural characteristics. In different regions, different languages being spoken. For example, in Jammu Kashmir, Kashmiri; in Punjab, Punjabi; in Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh area, Hindi; in Gujarat, Gujarati; in Nepal, Nepali; in Bengal, Bengali; in Telangana, Telugu; in Maharashtra, Marathi; in Goa, Konkani; in Tamil Nadu, Tamil; in Kerala, Malayalam. So these things we have learned previously. Now we will continue with our new third part. Next point, old and new regions. The 1,000 years of the history that we explaining witnessed major developments in the religious traditions. People's belief in the divine was sometimes deeply personal, but more usually it was collective. Collective belief in the supernatural agencies. Religion was often closely connected with the social and economic organization of local communities, as the social world of these groups altered, so too did their beliefs. Their beliefs also means affecting their lives. The next paragraph is it was during this period that important changes occurred in what we call Hinduism today. This include the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalties, and the growing importance of Brahmins, the priest, as a dominant group in the society. Now, new religious groups are also being occurred, going to be construct. Third paragraph, next paragraph. The knowledge of Sanskrit texts concerned the Brahmins a lot of respect in the society. Their dominant position was considered by the support of their patrons, new rulers searching for prestige. In this era, many changes came in the religious factor. Brahmins took the dominance because of their patrons. Knowledge of Sanskrit helped Brahmins to earn respect. Emergence of bhakti, of new idea and deities and new buildings. They people have built new temples also. Next paragraph. One of the major development of this period was the emergence of the idea of bhakti, of loving personal deities that devotees could reach without the aid of priest or elaborate rituals. You will be learning about this and other religions in chapter 8. Okay, in 6th standard we have learned about the Buddha and Mahavira, the religion of Buddha and Jainism. Okay, Buddhism and Jainism we have already learned in the 6th standard. Why these two new religions has been emerged? We had learned about the reason also. In olden eras Brahmins were dominating in the religious life of the people. The people are staying on this particular rituals and they something, and in society people had been monotonous because of this, so they need some new ideas in the religion. So because of that also the same region now, many different means changes came in this era also, and the term bhakti means the idea of a bhakti is going to be emphasis on this. The people want to be get off from the old and rigid religions or rituals, which whatever means being called by the Brahmins. Okay, so next, this was also the period of when new religions appeared in the subcontinent. Merchants and migrants first Merchants and migrants first brought the teaching of the Holy Quran in India in the 7th century. Muslim regards the Quran as their holy book and accept the sovereignty of the God. Allah, whose love, mercy and bounty embrace all those who believe in Him without regard to social background. Means this, whatever the person came from outside, the people brought Quran with them, and from this the new idea, new religion of Islam, means new idea of Islam has been started. Many rulers were patron of Islam, and the ulamas learned theologies, the jurists and the and like Hinduism, Islam was interpreted in the variety of ways by its followers. There was a Shia Muslim who believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community, and the Sunni Muslim who accepted the authority of early leaders of the community and the succeeding caliphs. There were other important differences between the various schools of law, Hanafi and Safi, mainly in India, and in theology, the mystic tradition. Means two new groups of Islam means Muslims has been emerged. The first one was Shia Muslim who believed in the son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad Ali, and the another communities that is called the Sunni Muslim who accepted the authority of the early leaders of community. So these people are believing in two different terminology, or we can say in thinking about time and historical periods. Historians do not see time just as a passing of hours, days or years, as a clock or a calendar. Time also reflects changes in a social and economic organization, in persistence and transformation of idea and beliefs. The study of time is made somewhat easier by dividing the past into large segment periods that possess shared characteristics. In the middle of the 9th century, British historians divide the history of India into three periods. The name of this historian was James Mill. He divided this period into three era: Hindu, Muslim and the British. The division was based on the idea that the religion of rulers was the only important historical changes, and there were not other significant developments in the economic, society or culture. Such as a division also ignored the rich diversity of subcontinent. Means he had divided our Indian history into three periods. First was Hindu, that is called the Vedic Kal. When after that, when Mughal era started, that is called the Muslim period, and then when Britishers came in India, that is being called the Britisher period. So in this, he means only considered this whatever the rulers came in, whatever era has been changed. He doesn't notice about the changes and the developments done in that era. Next paragraph, few historians follow this patronism today. Most look to economic and social factors to characterize the major elements of different movements of the past. The historians who read last year include a wide range of early societies: hunter gatherers, early farmers, people living in towns and villages, and early empires and kingdoms. The historians who will be study this year about the spread of peasant societies, the rise of regional and imperial states formation, sometimes at the cost of pastoral and forest people, the development of the Hinduism and Islam as a major religion, and the arrival of European trading companies. So in this paragraph, the people are telling that in 6th standard you people have learning about the how civilizations has been started, how the people have established different kingdoms. We had learned about the hunterers, gatherers, and farmers, how the people have started these different activities. All these things and all these developments we have learned in the previous year in 6th standard. In this year people will learn about the whatever the changes come in the different means in a bhaktism, or we can say in a religious factor, and in a society means what kind of changes came, that we will learn in this. And later on we will learn that about the development of means whatever the changes came in the people's life, the thinking of the people's life, that we will learn later on in this year. The thousand years of the Indian history witnessed considerable changes after all. The 16th and the 18th century was quite different from the 8th or the 11th. Therefore, describing the entire period as a historical unit is not without a problem. Moreover, the medieval period is often concentrate with the modern period. Modernity carries with it a sense of material progress and the intellectual advancement. This seems to suggest that the medieval period was lacking in any changes whatsoever. But of course, we know this was not the case. Means in this day people are telling that in medieval period changes doesn't come, modernity doesn't come, but this is somehow wrong, because medieval period is going to be divided into two part. The first half is going to be called the early medieval period. In that period means that kind of many changes doesn't come, but in later on medieval period many changes came. So modernity somehow that means later on medieval period is going to be considered as a modern era also closely. During these thousands years, the societies of the subcontinent were transformed often, and economic in several regions reached a level of a prosperity that attract the interest of European trading companies. As you read this book, look out for signs of change and the historical process at work. Also, whatever you can, compare what you read in the book with what you read last year. Means now whatever you will learn, compare with the last year. Means in that 6th standard you people are learning about the how civilization has been started, how people started to live in a group. We have learned about the life of hunter gatherers. We have learned about the process of farming and domestication, and then the people have started to means establish janpadas and mahajanpadas. Okay, so in this you people will learn further that how big kingdoms has been emerged, how means different people have started to conquer each other's land and everything, that we will learn in this your book. Okay, so this changes you will definitely see from these two books. Okay, so the people whatever you can look at the world around you to see what else has changed remained the same. Okay, means in the whatever changes came after all means the thinking and the whatever we can say the process is being same, but the history is same, but the changes you will definitely notice from this two book. Okay, so one thing the people have said that historians have divided past into three periods that we have seen in this letter and paragraphs: ancient, medieval, and modern. The ancient periods begins from the start of human history till 8th century to 8th century, means from starting the when from the Indus people started to live in a forest, and from to the 8th century, this period is going to be called the ancient period. That is somehow we people are telling the Vedic Kal. The medieval period begins from the 8th century to 18th century, means the medieval period is going to be called from 8th century to 18th century, and the modern period start from 18th century up to present days, means from 18th century Britishers came in India, so from that time we people are considered that as a modern time. Okay, so today we are completing our chapter here. I hope you people understand well, and you people will definitely means revise this chapter again. In the next lecture we will do the quick revision of the whole chapter. Thank you so much. I hope you people will like this lecture.